Hello, this is Anita here at omg.coach, and I wanted to talk for just a minute about how to build a relationship. Now, in our Thriving Around Difficult People class, we kind of tear this down and then put it back together again. And building relationships with difficult people is really a chore. And most of the time you ask, why in the world do I want to do that? Right? I don't need to have a relationship with them. Oh, but you do. Oh, but you do. Many of us, if we're working with a difficult person, we have a tendency to leave our jobs when that difficult person gets to be too difficult. Do you really want that person to control your destiny and your career by that much? And if you already have a difficult person, why not try to build that relationship and see what happens? I mean, how can you lose? You already have a bad relationship with them, so why not try? So there's a couple things I suggest to really help you with this. Number one is our standard. It's called the Pity Party Journal. This is available on Amazon and Etsy. The Pity Party Journal is just that. It's a journal where you get to describe that person. And you're going to vent on these pages, and you're going to write everything you feel about them, everything you want to say to them, everything you want to do to them, and then you're going to yank these out. You're going to burn them and then bury them in the flower bed for fertilizer. That's what this journal is for. It's designed for you to vent. It's also got some beautiful sections on next steps and what to do then. What the Pity Party Journal does for you is it allows you to purge your feelings. You do not want to be venting at work. You don't want to be venting to friends or family, or worst case, let this difficult person trigger you. So before you go into that session where you want to build your relationship with your difficult person, make sure you get all of your feelings out in this. And then throw it away, burn it. Yeah, don't throw it away. Shred it, burn it, and use it as fertilizer. So then what's step two? Step two then is you invite that person for a cup of coffee. And I talk a lot about going to a cup of coffee and having what's called a 2-minute conversation. The 2-minute conversation, what it does is you're going to start out for the first 2 minutes of the conversation, and you're going to ask about things about them. Tell me about yourself. What kind of hobbies do you have? Do you have any animals, pets, children? Tell me about you. I want to get to know you. And you can't talk about work. We're not going to talk about work. We're going to talk about each other. Now, during that 2 minutes, you're going to find you have something in common with that person. You always do. As much as we are different, we're also really a lot the same in hobbies and pets and where we live and different things that we like to do. We have a lot of things in common. Once you find out what that thing is in common, I want you to save it until minute 3. Then you can start talking about, you know what, when you're mentioning dogs, I have some dogs too. I have this little teacup chihuahua named Hobbs. I can imagine that your dogs challenge you sometimes. I know my dog challenges me. What kind of bad behavior do they have? You can get into an in-depth discussion about dogs. You can get into an in-depth discussion about anything. And spend 10 minutes together. Get to know them on a personal level. And all of a sudden, all that animosity, all of those problems that you had with each other, they start to fade away. Because now they're a person to you and you're a person to them, instead of being strangers who don't like each other. So find that way to create that bond, those things that you have in common, and you'll build that relationship with that difficult person. If you want to find out more about that, we've got our subscription on life lessons. We've also got our course on Thriving Around Difficult People. Check us out on omg.coach. And sign up for a class coming up soon.